Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, the entire crypto market over the past couple days has been experiencing a powerful uptrend. We saw Bitcoin reach a high of over $42,000, something that I found to be powerful for this next monstrous altcoin cycle. That $42,000 mark to me marked the beginning of this altcoin market cycle. That does not mean we're going to go straight to the moon right away, but that's something that every single one of us needs to be excited about. Ethereum has reached a $2,500 price. Actually went to $2,700. That's very exciting too. Could we correct? Absolutely. But I don't really care that much about those two cryptos. People in my Udemy course and that know my portfolio know I own neither of them. And the reason is because I find more return on investment from other smaller cryptos. Another profound example of that is our baby, our precious. We are the quantum warriors. Look at Quant go, reaching almost $200 and a new all-time high today. This thing has been exploding in value recently. What I will say though, in the long term, this is probably an undervalued price, but right now in the short term, I am not buying any Quant. I was telling my Udemy students to buy Quant at $7, and had they listened, they'd be up over 22x at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, at the peak, they'd be up approximately 27x. That's nothing to laugh at. The only people that are laughing are the people that got in early. The reason I keep showing you all this Quant graph is because this thing seems to be the leader of the altcoin market at the moment. Quant is transcending any and all practicality, any and all logic and reason, and this is an example. These uptrends are an example of what can happen during the altcoin market cycle. We saw Dogecoin leading the meme coin rally just a couple months ago. Now Quant seems to be leading the utility crypto bull run. Right now we see the interoperability protocol of the future taking its center stage moment. And then plenty of others will take that stage too. XRP always moves last, but it always moves the fastest and the highest, and other alternative cryptos that I've invested in my Udemy course and that my mentees who are in my consulting program already know about. Ladies and gentlemen, all I have to say is that over the past few days, getting to know each and every single one of the people I've been consulting through my mentorship program that's down in the description below, it's been very emotional. We've been getting to know each other, and we still have more sessions to go. If you guys can't afford the VIP private, that is why the group consulting has been made. Ladies and gentlemen, there are still openings for today, and I truly hope to see as many of you as possible, because we're in a time-sensitive moment in the crypto market where you need to get organized. The more organized and ready you are for this crypto bull market, the more you're going to profit. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor, but I really hope you consider what I'm offering. I would also like to thank Crypto Eddie for signing up to one of these sessions, and I'm really looking forward to having her in there, as that's going to be a powerhouse session. Now, very briefly, we have this from the BIS Nexus, a blueprint for instant cross-border payments. Nexus is a model by the BIS for connecting multiple national payment systems into a cross-border platform that could enable international payments to happen as quickly as sending a message. More than 60 countries already have instant payment systems that allow people to send money to each other within seconds. Meanwhile, sending money abroad is often still slow and expensive. Connecting these national systems internationally could improve the speed, cost, and transparency of cross-border payments. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people have been saying this is a competitor to Ripple and XRP. And I'll point you to this image, a high-level advisory group of the IMF's Interdepartmental Working Group on Finance and Tech. Ripple CEO is there, the IMF is there, the head of fintech at the Bank of Indonesia is there, SWIFT is there, the managing director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore is there. We have so many high-level important people. Why is Ripple in the room? It's not because they're gonna get replaced. It's because this cross-border payments narrative is at the forefront of the world now because of the moves Ripple did years ago. Everyone always says it's going to take years before we get adoption and full-blown utility. And I'm here to argue it's already been years, and right now it's being released to the public in the background. Ripple has called themselves the plumbers. XRP is the new plumbing. You'll never see XRP in action, but you will feel its worldwide effects. Now, ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, I want to show you that the Federal Reserve Payments Pilot has incorporated Ripple's partner Volante technologies. This came out in February, but it's important to look at the past to remember why the president is so important for you to seize the opportunity at these low prices. The Federal Reserve Payments Pilot is integrated with a Ripple partner. That's not by accident. The Treasury has had numerous former members on Ripple's board of directors. Craig Phillips was a former counselor to the Secretary at the U.S. Department of the Treasury. He provided depth to Ripple's policy leadership. Then, we saw that former Treasury official Michael S. Barr joined Ripple Labs. Ripple has had plenty of connections to the Treasury. Now, Ripple quite literally appointed a former U.S. Treasurer to its board amid the SEC lawsuit. This woman, Rosie Rios, has her name on the literal money. Look at your $100 bills, $20 bills, and you'll see Rosie Rios' name. U.S. Treasurer. That's important to note, as she would not let her credibility go down the drain just because she's joining Ripple during a lawsuit, unless she knew it was theater, unless she knew they were gonna win. Ladies and gentlemen, I have this brief clip to play you. But first, I need to let all of you know this. Rosie Rios knows that the US dollar is plummeting. They're hyperinflating the currencies. And guys, with all this stimulus that needs to be given to the people and no end in sight with these extremely low interest rates, basically free money, Rosie Rios no longer wants her name on the old money, the devalued money. She needs to have her blueprints on the new money, the future's money. That's why she joined Ripple, because XRP is that solution. Listen to her say that herself.
I saw in your background that you are on the board of Ripple.
Yes,
and that's a crypto. That's a crypto. Yes, that's a cryptocurrency. Yep. So how do you see, I've actually worked with a company that's working on central bank digital currencies. How do you see cryptocurrency coming into play into a U.S. economy?
Yeah, first of all, it's already in play in the U.S. So, the interesting thing about anything that's innovative, like digital currency, like crypto, is that it usually leads, it doesn't follow, right? Government is the one that usually follows, not leads. And so the utility of how crypto is being applied is very different, right? For some people, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's really more of a store of value. It's more of a commodity. For XRP, which is Ripple's crypto, it's the reason why I chose to join this forward is it's the only one that really has an applied use, right? So it facilitates cross-border payments. And so it serves a very kind of practical function. It's used by financial institutions around the world. And so I see it as a great way to think about the next, the evolution of money. Right. But in this case, again, how do we have something that isn't just a market value? It actually serves its purpose. And again, in this case, for those cross-border payments, it's made a huge difference in that world.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've shown you time and time and time and time again that Ripple and XRP serve a purpose. I've told you time and time again that Bitcoin and Ether are not the correct answers. Ether is a better answer than Bitcoin, but XRP fixes both of their problems, especially once it's getting its smart contracts, hooks on standby, Flare network on standby, supreme levels of DeFi coming to the XRP ecosystem, Flare finance on standby. But XRP itself, the cross-border payments niche, is being described to you by Rosie Rios, former US Treasurer. Ladies and gentlemen, she says XRP and Ripple are the solutions to these problems. The woman whose name is on the money, her name is on the damn money, and she's telling you about money. Listen to the woman whose name is on the money tell you about money while you make some bank money investing on the new money. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you all to remember the other day when I played you that Julia Chatterley, Kristalina Georgieva IMF interview, and they were talking about the new potential reserve currency. A digital US dollar may be in the works. Kristalina Georgieva said something very profound. There needs to be a restructuring, a revaluation of the world reserve currencies. I believe she's directly talking about the SDR. The SDR basket of currencies that consists of the US dollar, Japanese yen, British pound, euro, and the won. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, it shows that SDR basket of currencies. And here in the second part of this chart, the second column, it says weights determined in the 2015 review. This is out of 100%. The US dollar currently makes up 41% of the SDR, euro 30%, won about 11%, the yen and the pound about 8% each. Why is that important? The reason this is important is because Georgieva stated a revaluation of the US dollar's role in the SDR could be on the horizon. And to me that means the US dollar, and its reserve status, it's going to be minimized. It's going to go back to the mean. The United States is the most indebted nation on the planet. And for a while now, I've believed that the United States is a third world country wearing a Gucci belt. We're so broke, but we pretend to be so rich. And the reason we've had this privilege of being able to show off our fake money is because the US dollar has been the global reserve. That is a privilege, and it's been abused. Inflation is running rampant. No end in sight. Jerome Powell money printer go brr. And the unfortunate consequences of those actions will be shown to the world and the US very soon. It's going to be rough. It's going to shock people. But those that are prepared investing in different asset classes will come out of the other side wealthier than anybody can imagine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're beginning to see regulatory clarity hit the United States. And personally, I don't like it. I don't like how it's looking. A framework to regulate crypto asset stablecoins has been introduced in Congress. And I'm going to let Warren Davidson warn you of why I don't like what's going on. This is a critical warning to the XRP holder and crypto investors. We may be in for a quick shock in markets for a number of reasons before it gets better. We're currently seeing an uptrend. Is it a bull trap, or is it a real pump before we see full-blown REGS? We still have to wait and see, but we're prepared for anything to happen.
Does this concern you from a competition and a competitiveness standpoint? Are you worried that compliance costs and the vagueness of the bill may harm American innovation?
Harm it. It's like, I mean, the amount of collateral damage this would cause to fintech in America, particularly, crypto, not just in the payment system, but everything you would move on a blockchain. We are barely scratching the surface on the number of use cases for distributed ledger technology. And it's like the very, very early days of the internet. I mean, we haven't, 30 plus years into the internet in America, we have not, for the consumer, we have not tapped all of the use cases. So we're barely at the surface of the use cases in blockchain, and it is really going to cripple growth and development. And if you go back to, we talk a lot about Section 230. This goes back to the 1990s bill that helped facilitate the growth and flourishing of the internet. And what did they do? They broadly provided an exemption from liability for internet companies for what their users do on the internet. This is the exact opposite. It completely makes everyone who touches blockchain technology liable for what everybody else does. You should be going the direction that you went with 230. Learn from it, because it's not a perfect law by any means. But instead of that, this is putting more of a burden on anyone that touches anything related to crypto, anything related to blockchain, anything related to distributed ledger technology than biggest banks have for transferring money.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's things like that that make me cautious about the state of this market right now. Just after 2 weeks, not even 2 days of price appreciation, the fear-greed index for the crypto market went from extreme fear to mild greed. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Warren Davidson has been a big blockchain advocate for a long time, and now he's warning that regulators are trying to clamp down. Remember, Janet Yellen is trying to clamp down. The Treasury wanted to do a lot of negative things with people's personal hardware wallets. But remember, I showed you all that the Treasury and Ripple have very close ties, and that is why I'm so bullish on XRP, because regardless of anything bad that happens in crypto, XRP will survive. A lot of cryptos are not compliant, and XRP is, and that's why I keep telling all of you to own XRP, and also in this specific moment, have cash on the sidelines. If you're new to crypto, maybe you should consider buying and dollar cost averaging, because many of us have been here for years and we have sizable bags already. But currently, me personally, I'm being greedy and seeing how this market plays out. That cash is to protect me from a correction. But if we are going on an uptrend right now, and it is in fact confirmed, then I'll be taking gradual profits on the way up. My warriors do not lose. We win in any scenario possible. We have this from Crypto Eddie, showing a SBI presentation, investor relations, and showing this new Japan on-demand liquidity corridor. This is something you all need to know. XRP is actually being used in the real world now. Philippines, Japan, we can't forget Bitso, and numerous others. Real utility exists. And this thing is going to take off with or without the United States. This SEC lawsuit is a distraction. This is an international, global financial takeover. And if the US decides to be last to the party, then they'll be last to the party. Kevin Cage made an interesting tweet yesterday that I happen to agree with. Prices may come before regulation and this SEC lawsuit clarity. The reason, why the hell wouldn't they price out retail investors that can't buy XRP on exchanges? Then, after the price of XRP is much higher, then they can relist XRP for 1 to people to sell in for 2 so retail investors can buy at a high. It seems logical to me. That might be what's going to happen. And that's why I always tell you, be in before the settlement, because once you hear it in the news, it'll be too late. Guys, to cap off this video for today, I have this beautiful presentation reposted by both in the D-app about Novatti, a Ripple partner. Novatti's in Australia, and they're working on new on-demand liquidity corridors. We'll see that very shortly. Guys, I want you to look at all these clips and gain confidence in your investment. We're not going to lose. We're all going to win. Maybe not immediately, but most certainly. This is the Bearable Bull here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
From Andrew. Yesterday, Ripple announced it's expanding its on-demand liquidity platform with a Japan-Philippines corridor. Will this news mean we could see Novatti expanding its use of this tech beyond just the Philippines? And what can you tell us about your experience with it so far?
So we've found Ripple to be really good to work with. Yes, we are working on expanding our corridors, and I think we've said that before. And I think that you know, Ripple, certainly from everything we've seen, they are really here for the long haul. I mean, obviously, everyone thinks about them in terms of XRP, their cryptocurrency, but in terms of them providing an alternative cross-border payments network and a compliant payments network, we are believers. They give us a lot of alternatives. On-demand liquidity, we're not using it for all transactions, but it certainly provides, again, a sort of unique opportunity. And, you know, there are other parts of the Ripple offering that are sort of in their own way unique, and hopefully we can really leverage that over time. But on the core question, I think of other corridors, yes. And hopefully you'll see that pretty shortly from us.